Well, it's the last day of the season, 2025, and everything is to go. So the pike are obviously going to have a feast. It's the last day of the 2024-25 course fishing season on rivers. Just one last look at Topcliffe Weir. This Friday, I think it's the 14th of March. What a lovely sight. Well, this is peg one at Topcliffe. I think we're quite pleased when tomorrow comes. It's absolutely hammered every day. Yeah, sunny, with squalls of rain, and the sun's out, it's really nice. It's the last day of the season, and come down to the peg house on Wednesday. I've managed to catch that pike after 11 runs without when they all came off. So anyway, I've got a lot of maggots to get rid of and a lot of dead bait to get rid of. So whatever fish are in here, they're going to have a feast. Anyway, it's 2:15, so let's just get cast in and settle back. Nice pike. Absolutely super fish. And markings on it. That tail. A stunning thing. What a wonderful, wonderful gadget this is. Well, jet black mink running up the bank there. I don't know whether you can see it on here. It was a big mink. That's another massive chub. Again, absolutely mint. Stunning. You couldn't ask for a better chub than that. Suddenly surrounded by 6 dogs, big dogs. Well, it's going on 7 o'clock. It's been an icy cold day. Bitter. Put in a nice pike and a magnificent chub. Absolutely stunning fish. And then on the opposite bank we had that sleek, lithe mink. And it's a jet black, silky fur. It's almost snake-like, especially when it's in the water. And it was a big mink. I've never seen one as big as that. But that's the end of the season, unfortunately. So wait until the weather warms up and then start looking for tench. But from the Banks River Swale here, take care. We'll see you again. Bye bye. Well, now the river coarse fishing season is finished. Time for a quick reflection on the River Swale and its surroundings. There were fewer floods this year, and for the most part the river has been in excellent fettle. We've had little snow, but the winter has been decidedly cold, much colder than usual, especially February. With the river temperatures below 5 degrees for days, if not weeks on end. So, whilst not as prolific as last year, which was a sort of exceptional, the barbel fishing was very good, with several double-figure fish featuring. The biggest I heard of, very fine, it was £12 plus. There was pike to £20, perch to between £3 and £4, and some big chub, £6 plus, were also featured. Personally, I had fewer barbel this year, but some really big fish. I mean, I don't weigh them, so I don't know how big they were, but several of them would be double-figure fish. But the quality and the condition of the fish is excellent. Obviously, handling barbel education has made a big difference. For me, perch proved elusive. I tried and tried again, but without any great success. and the pike they've been making a mockery of me recently for my Tyro's attempts to land them, but I'll persevere with it. My fishing for grayling up on the River Swale has been desperate this year. I think I've only had half a dozen fish. But I was speaking to an angler recently in town, and he'd had 2 sessions up there in February and managed to get a double figure bag each time. So they are around, although there's a fair number of cormorants up there as well. I mean, fishing aside, there's been lots of interest whilst waiting for a bite. Apart from the usual sort of crows and pigeons and magpies, the bird life has been wonderful. On the popular venues, you get sort of cheerful robins and chuntering wrens, shy hedge sparrows, scoffing the angler's options. If you don't give them anything, they sort of land on your rod and start chuntering away, hoping you've got to throw them a handful of maggots. Occasionally you get a bright-eyed wood mouse. They sort of sneak out of the undergrowth and grab a fallen pellet and then belt away to stash it away somewhere for later. As kingfishers, they make their usual sort of bright blue iridescent appearance. They're not uncommon, although they do suffer badly in freezing cold winters. I mean, you might be lucky and get one sitting on a branch nearby watching it dive into the water. Or you might be even luckier and one will land on your rod, for as soon as you move, they're off. In wintertime you get huge flocks of long-tailed tits, 40 or 50 birds, sort of scouring the willows looking for tasty morsels. I mean, where do they go in the summertime? You very rarely see long-tailed tits in the summertime. You also get little grebes or dab chicks showing up in the wintertime, sort of diving up and then they stay on the water for seemingly a long time and then they pop up like a little cork. I don't know what they're doing because the water's absolutely freezing. Up the dale, the calls of curlews and oyster catchers and peewits reverberate across the meadows, and more and more egrets appear. I mean, they used to be a very rare bird these. But sometimes I've seen 10 in one of the fields up there. I often find oyster catcher's nests on a particular gravel bed. Very, very difficult to see, but you can tell it's there because the bird gets really agitated. And of course I hope that they manage to get the eggs hatched and away before they get swept away in a spring flood, which is a disaster. On the lower reaches there are more and more predators. I often see, well, maybe every time I go I see buzzards and of course tawny owls are all over the place. You hear them in the middle of the afternoon. And there are more and more barn owls. It's obviously there's many more people are putting up barn owl nest boxes to try and increase the populations, and they're obviously having some success. And you often see them during the daylight, sort of like ghosts going across the fields. If you're lucky, you'll see red kites, and if you're even more lucky, you might see a little owl introduced from the United States, I think about 100 years ago, maybe even more now. Searching the ground for earthworms, which is their favourite food. Otters are frequently seen, and unfortunately also seen a destructive mink, particularly destructive at this time of year. seeking out the nest of ground nesting birds like ducks and curlews and water hens, whatever. An appalling thing. What those people did when they released them from fur farms, the destruction they wrought on the countryside just cannot be underestimated. I mean, this week I've seen more and more hares out about and testosterone taking over. Quite amusing to watch as they all chase around boxing one another, seeking out the favours of the females who sort of sit around watching it all. More and more roe deer are appearing. I mean, one even jumped into the river and swam across right in front of it. Startled angler thought somebody's fallen in. But we haven't seen any, you don't see any of the other deer as you do in the south of England. I mean, muntjac are very, very common in the south, but so far none up here. And no wild boar, thank goodness. Although no doubt they will make their appearance sometime in the future. In the springtime, swathes of snowdrops, sweet violets make their appearance, and great banks of shiny yellow celandines, lovely on the riverbank, but desperate things to get in your garden. They're really hard to get rid of if you don't want them. And then you get the wild garlic, that distinctive smell, and then mosses and bluebells. I mean, just now, I noticed yesterday, the two seed leaves of the Himalayan balsam beginning poking above the ground. In 3 months' time, they'll be 8 feet tall, absolutely covered in some of the riverbanks. Fortunately, on the Swale, we don't suffer too badly from it. I don't know, down on the Nid, there's acres of stuff. I mean, love it or loathe it, it's great for bees and other insects. Although speaking of other insects, there's been a remarkable dearth of wasps this year. I mean, I know they're a pest, but they have an important part to play in ecosystems, sort of pollinators and destroyers of insect pests. Next month it's dandelions, they make their appearance. I'm a big fan of dandelions. I mean, the roadside verges are covered with absolutely glorious orange yellow, and if you watch them, the flowers follow the sun round during the day, so they get maximum sunlight, and then at night they go back to where they were. The following day it all starts again. They're a very underrated flower, unless of course you get them in the garden when they can be a right nuisance. Now today, about a couple of hours ago, I heard the loud buzzing of a bumblebee. What a joyful sound that is, sipping its first taste of nectar from a hyacinth just outside. It's a noise that raises my spirits as a sort of final realisation that winter is turning into spring. And then next month, of course, the sand martins make their appearance together with their cousins, the house martins and swifts. I mean, this past year there's been an absolute dearth of swifts. I've seen very, very few. I mean, hopefully this year will be better. I mean, when they first arrive from the tropics, if you get really bad weather with very few insects, they're very loath to breed. We're incredibly fortunate to have the chance to experience such joys. And it would be remiss of me not to thank the hard work of the volunteers who run our angling clubs and the riparian owners who give us permission to wander the banks and fish such wonderful rivers. Anyway, on that note, tight lines. I'll see you about. Take care. Bye-bye.